Welcome back to another video. This is the Gundam Zagan, the high-grade Gundam Zagan from 2025. And I'm sorry if I stuttered during this video. I don't think I've really ever I don't think I've done a review on a kit that is very brand new. So this is going to be the first time that I do that. So this is the high-grade Gundam Zagan, and it basically just came out. I'm a huge Iron Blood Orphans fan, so I couldn't pass up the opportunity to get this, as well as when I found out that this has a brand new inner frame. If you've built Iron Blood Orphans Gundams for the past couple years now, you would know, for example, the Barbatos here. You would know that the spine of these frames that's connected with the front of the where the pistons are, it's a two-part attachment where you have the pistons and then the spine. You have to close those together, and over time, if you were to like rotate the ab crunch here, that spine would separate a lot, like, over time. But with the new Zagan, this is basically redoing the entire frame. Well, I'm not sure if this is going to be for the newer upcoming ones that will come in the future, but for the Zagan especially, this thing is an absolute unit, so it does make sense for them to kind of redo the frame. Now, this does share some components from the previous frame, and that is noticeable in that little piece right there on the back of the arm. Some of the all of the joints are actually the same from the previous frame, as well as the thigh. The thigh frame is also the same. The only major differences is the way the foot is the frame of the foot is designed. The lower leg frame is also completely different. Well, not really completely different. It's just slightly different from the front of the frame. Next time I'm going to actually build the actual frame itself, because I might actually have to do some comparisons in the future, which I might make a part 2 of this and maybe actually do that. But yeah, so the torso is also quite different. It does share the same joint aspects. The entire front of the forearm and this part of the lower arm as well. Wait, no. This is the forearm, this is the bicep. Both of those are brand new for this Gundam, as well as the frame joints right there. This is actually a double-jointed, this is actually a double-jointed, I'll get into the articulation later. I'm getting ahead of myself here, but yeah, so the Gundam Zagan has basically has a completely redone frame. And because it shares aspects from the previous frame, it actually has the majority of the previous frame. You have the torso, you have the leg and the foot, more of the legs, the entire arm and shoulder assembly. You have everything here except for the thigh frame and the little pieces that are behind on the bicep. So you could actually rebuild an entire frame from this kit, but I guess I might do that another time, because you know what, I think I will do a part 2, because I might analyze the frame in this a little bit more in the future. But anyways, that was a very long rant about the new frame, but yeah, so let's get into the actual appearance of this, which this thing is an absolute unit. It has a lot of armor everywhere. It has some of the most massive rear skirts that I've ever seen on a Gundam, or on a Gundam that I've owned. Just armor everywhere. You have like these, this is another kit that has like these horse hooves at the front. I would say that what was another kit that looked like hooves? Oh, the Gundam Schwarz, that one looks like it has hooves. This one actually does look like hooves, like horse hooves. Unfortunately, though, they don't tilt upwards, but again, I'll get into the articulation later. But yeah, so this color scheme, though, does remind me of the Gundam Gremory a little bit, which I do still need another one. I modified my current one, and I kind of regret it, but anyways. Yeah, so you have these massive V-fin. Very, very interesting, though. Then you have that little sticker for the faction. Oh, speaking of stickers, this is all that there is on the sticker sheet. You have the eyes, you have the 2 and 3 are for the stickers up here, 1 there, and that's number 3. Number 4 is basically the exact same thing, but both of the white parts are together on that sticker, so you don't have to put 2 individually, but I do recommend having them separate because it looks a lot better. Number 5, again, is that symbol right there for the family. Speaking of the family, I don't really remember much about it. I did read the little blurb, but I'll show you guys as well. So that right there is information about the Gundam Zagan. I guess I should show the entire thing. And then this is the pilot, which is has a very interesting name. But yeah, so that is the info if you want to pause and read. But yeah, so overall, the fact that this is basically color accurate and has like no stickers at all, that is wonderful. So everything that you see on here is color accurate, except for these. This is the only color accurate part. The rest of these are not color accurate. Very interesting choice. I don't know why they did that, but we'll get into we'll get into those claws later. But yeah, so let's get into the articulation. There's a lot of articulation. So you have your standard polycap build. You have a ball joint in the bottom, ball joint in the bottom, ball joint at the top, where that connects the head. The head can look up that far, can look down far, cannot do the full 360. The collar here is on a ball joint, so you can actually like slightly rotate that. That is actually kind of difficult, but you can kind of move that around. Oh goodness. I will say, I think this likes to fall backwards a lot. Not sure why, but it does do that sometimes. Okay, so upwards ab crunch, downwards ab crunch. Again, this is a brand new frame, so you can just it feels a lot better as well. You can do a full 360 with that standard Iron Blood Orphans frame, like the little typical ball joint that goes down into the waist. It's a thin waist. That's a lot of mass on that thin waist. But yeah, so moving to the arms, this is actually double jointed. I'm going to show you this. So this is a ball joint that attaches into there. You do get a okay, no you don't. I thought you could get a swivel out of that, but you can't. But there is a ball joint. You can do a full 360, I'm pretty sure. there's a little swivel for this little armor piece. There is there's another ball joint that goes inside. Hold on, let me rotate this so you can see it better. There's a ball joint that goes inside of this little bit, and then this right here is the actual shoulder joint for the standard, like all of the Gundam frames. That's the actual shoulder joint. Now this does make me think you can probably pull this out, put it into the frame part here, and like leave this extension out if you wanted to, but then again, the shoulder armor is attached to this, so I don't really know how that would work, but I am curious to see how that would look. I don't think I should be doing this, but oh gosh, okay. Yeah, okay, that's how that looks. That was probably a waste of time. But, yeah, this swivel bit right here is attached by a C-clip that attaches here. Now, for the rest of the arm, you have articulation here. Standard bicep swivel. Armor does get in the way, so you can't do a full 360. This is a double-jointed elbow, which is the first, I believe, in an Iron Blooded Orphans Gundam frame. So there's a swivel right here, and then there's the standard swivel, which is there. So you can get quite a bit out of that. And then you have your standard ball joint wrist attachment. So again, ball joint goes into the shoulder, or the entire extended frame bit, and then that just pegs back into the okay, that fell off. Yeah, so this actually is quite a large kit, so I'm probably going to have to separate this for now. This part, it does feel a bit loose, so I'm not really sure. I'm not really too sure about this one. It's not going back on. Okay, there it goes. Yeah, so I'm just gonna separate the body real quick. So front skirts, it can go up pretty much, you know, standard for Iron Blooded Orphans. The front skirts can go all the way up. You can cut them in the middle for separate ball joints. They do come attached on the runner, but they can go up that far as long as the upper body is not in the way. The side skirts here are attached on a side swivel right here, right there, and they can go upwards quite a bit. Probably not ideal though, because this does get in the way, and if you were to continue pushing this upwards, it would kind of stress that out, I think, that little joint. But yeah, that's a little swivel there. But these can go out. Down in the waist, you have your standard little swivel, Iron Blooded Orphan swivel. The leg can go up that far, and it can go back that far. And of course, you can do the splits. You do have your regular joints here, double jointed knee bend. You have a joint here, and you have a joint here, which if you do it right, I think you can get a bit more, like that kind of. Anyways, you do get, if you remove the foot, I believe, you do have a very small, like, swivel. Okay, maybe it's not a swivel. But the attachment for this part right here is like a circle. So I thought there was a swivel. Oh, okay. That's what it looks like. It's not a swivel. I just saw the circle and thought it was a swivel. Ball joint attachment and your standard swivel in the ankles. And then you have your toe bend, which only goes down, unfortunately. I wish it could go upwards, but it just goes down. And that is that for the articulation of the actual Gundam itself. This is quite a chaotic video, actually. Maybe because this thing is kind of huge. Not huge, but like there's a lot of just armor everywhere. There's a lot of clashing and just, yeah. Anyways, onto the accessories. You do have 2 pairs of hands. There are no holding hands. It's just fists, and it has these like claw gripping hands. But they are the standard ball joint attachments. So yeah, there's not really much to that. Now onto the exciting bits. The claws. So we have a lot of articulation in this. We have when this is attached, you have a swivel right here. You have a very stiff swivel, I might add. Very stiff swivel right there. That is actually very, very stiff. You have another, goodness. You have an articulation joint here, a swivel here, and a ball joint that goes into the claw. So you have a swivel, a lot of swivel, ball joint. And the claw itself has quite a bit of articulation as well. You can fold this out. See, there's an articulation here. You can fold that out a lot like that. And this frame bit right here moves for no reason. But you can actually open the claw out like that. And that is pretty much the claw. The claw itself fully extended. But you can also just extend it with the actual arm itself. But yeah, you can close that up. This stays like that, but yeah, you just have to pull that down. When this is closed, this little hole, this rectangle, pegs into that little slot down there. And this claw tooth right here, I'm calling that a tooth, that goes into there. But yeah, this does look like a dinosaur, I'm not gonna lie, which is very, very cool. I think dinosaurs are cool. This is very nice, in my opinion. So it just closes up like that, and it just attaches onto the rear armor right here. It pegs in pretty simple. It is a strong attachment though, so it is going to be a bit hard to rotate or remove. Let me just try and get this on camera here. It just pegs into the back like so. Something like that. You can clearly tell there's a gap there, but I don't want to force it too much, or at least not right now. So these claws do make this back heavy, so you might want to beware. Like, keep it on a stand, opposing stand, which I forgot again, or just have it standing like that, where the binders or giant claws can actually help it stand, because they do reach the ground. And so yeah, so you can have it kind of just like posing, like how I did for the thumbnail. You can do a lot of poses. Over on Instagram and in my Discord, I did post like 10 pictures of this kit, especially in a few poses here and there. I might post some more on the community posts over on this channel, so look out for that, I guess. But yeah, so this is a lot. This is a lot. this thing is the mass of this. Okay, the mass of this is this has weight to it for sure, and I'm kind of glad that it's not tall, or not as tall as I hoped, because that would just make it worse actually. And I guess they do have to have some balance, because if it was taller, it would probably fall over way more than I thought. More than I thought. Anyways, comparison time. Here's the Hajiroboshi that I think those two have fought against each other in the little clips that I've seen around the internet. And here is the Barbatos Lupus Rex. Should probably, no. Eh. Oh god. Okay. I kind of forget this is an issue, but there's the Barbatos Lupus Rex. He is also crouching a little bit, so yeah, but he's about Lupus Rex height. Yeah, I kind of forget that the Lupus Rex is quite prone to separating at the waist. Or maybe that's just me. I'm not sure. I've messed with this Lupus Rex for a while. I've had it for a long time now. So it might just be an issue that happened over time. And I can't forget the classic RX-78 too. Which, yeah, the Zagan is an absolute unit. I would compare this to the Marcosius, because the Marcosius is actually the only other Iron-Blooded Orphans Gundam that I have that's big. But the Zagan is definitely biggest now that I have it. But yeah, I'm not gonna do any poses. I'm gonna post those. I'm gonna post on the community post tab. The articulation, or not the articulation. I'm going to post pictures of the poses on the community post tab, if that makes any sense. But yeah, I'm sorry if there was a lot of stuttering in this video. I wanted to kind of get this kind of done and over with. I've done multiple takes of this. So, yeah, I guess I just don't really do well with a brand new kit. I was also kind of just excited to show this off, because this Zagan, I think it's definitely worth it. I do recommend this. I really, really do. If you're an Iron-Blooded Orphans fan and you love these Gundam frames, the Zagan just rewrote history with the whole Gundam frame issue. I mean, some of the issues are still there, like the ball joint into the waist. Some joints, like, it shares all of the same joints for the most part, except for in the torso, where they rebuilt the design of the frame. So overall, yes, I highly recommend this. This is the first of its kind that has a brand new frame. There's also not a lot of accessories either. It's literally just these hands and the majority of another frame. But yeah, highly recommend this actually. It's kind of huge, massive. It's gonna be one of your biggest Iron-Blooded Orphans kits, or Iron-Blooded Orphans Gundam kits. But yeah, so if you enjoyed this definitely chaotic video, because I tried to speak as fast as I could, or at least that's what it feels like to me. But if you like this video, if you enjoyed, leave a like and subscribe, and I will do more videos. Well, I'm always gonna do more videos. And it fell over again. Okay. Yeah, but there's a weight issue with this for sure. But if you enjoyed, leave a like and subscribe. And I might do a part 2 of this where I compare the frames a little bit more. But yeah, so that's it for this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.